everybody. Welcome to Divorce Decoded, your go to destination for insightful discussions and valuable insights on navigating the complexities of divorce. I'm B. Celeste, your host and your guide through this transformative journey. Now, whether you're seeking legal advice, emotional support, or simply a space to share experiences, hey, you've come to the right place. So, subscribe, engage, and let's navigate this chapter with wisdom and empowerment. We're going to be talking about compassion. And I have discovered that we may be in so much emotional distress that we neglect self care. We think we have no life. All we are is our pain. And that's simply not true. We are more than our problems. Just because life has been this painful so far doesn't mean it will always be like this. It may not be all roses at this moment, but it doesn't have to be all thorns either. As one of my best friends says, get a life. That was a bit harsh and lacked compassion, but she didn't mean any harm. But she is right. We have to get a life. But sometimes it's not that cut and dry. You see, I didn't know at the time of my divorce that God had something better in store for me. I'm sure you feel the same. I believe there is an enjoyable, worthwhile purpose for each of us, even after divorce. Besides feeling anxious about what's next, will we find love again? Will the pain ever go away? Will I ever get over the loneliness? Why can't I stop thinking about my ex? Listen, we have to control these intrusive thoughts that only make us feel worse. We have got to learn to tap into an attitude of compassion and self care. By taking care of ourselves, we open ourselves up to the goodness and richness available in all of us. Self care is an attitude toward ourself and our lives that says, I am responsible for myself. I am responsible for living my life. I'm responsible for tending to my spiritual, emotional, physical, and financial well being. I am responsible for identifying and meeting my needs. I'm responsible for solving my problems or learning to live with what I cannot solve. I'm responsible for my choices. I'm responsible for what I give and receive. I am also responsible for setting and achieving my goals. I'm responsible for how much I enjoy life and for how much pleasure I find in the things that I enjoy doing. I'm responsible for who I love and how I choose to express this love. I'm also responsible for what I do to others and for what I allow them to do to me. I'm responsible for my wants and desires, all of me. Every aspect of my being is important. I count for something. I matter. My feelings can be trusted. If I'm in my right mind, I'm not bipolar, schizophrenic, suicidal, or severely depressed. Listen, I'm responsible. Get to a place where you value your wants and needs. Tell yourself, I do not deserve and will not tolerate abuse or constant mistreatment either by another person or myself. I won't abuse myself with words that speak negatively of who I am. I have a right to claim compassion. It's my responsibility to assert these rights. Yeah. The decisions I make and the way that I conduct myself will reflect my high self esteem. My decisions will um, help me to take account for my responsibilities. I will examine and decide exactly what these responsibilities are as I make decisions. I will also consider the rights of those around me and their right to live their lives as they see fit, including my ex. I don't have the right to impose on others the rights of how they take care of themselves, just like they don't have the right to impose on me. You see, self care is an attitude of mutual respect. It means learning to live our lives responsibly. It means allowing others to live their lives as they choose. And as long as they don't interfere with our decision to live as we choose, it's all good. Taking care of ourselves is not as selfish as some people assume it is, but neither is it selfless as many people believe. Now, we're all too familiar with narcissistic or self centered people. That's self compassion on a whole different level. I believe taking care of ourselves is an art. And this art involves one fundamental idea that is foreign to many: giving ourselves what we need. You see, I didn't have self-compassion for myself. I was too busy beating myself up because I blamed myself for the divorce. I thought I could have been a better wife. Just give him everything he wants, don't hold him accountable, and everything will work out. But it didn't. I was in denial. Many of us falsely believe our needs are not important after divorce, and we shouldn't mention them to anybody. Just shove them aside, shove them under the carpet. Some of us even began to believe that showing self compassion was wrong. And so we learned to repress self love and push our needs to the back burner. And it's been repressed for so long that we forgot how to identify what we need or even to listen to what we need because in our mind, it didn't matter anyway. Our mind, we felt that our needs weren't going to get met anyway. Okay. We haven't learned how to get our needs met appropriately. But here's a simple solution. Take a step back, ask, what do I need to do to take care of myself? Then listen to yourself and to your higher power and respect what you hear. You see, this insane business of punishing ourselves for our decisions and what we think, feel, and what we want or deserve is pure craziness. This nonsense must stop. We think God has abandoned us. The truth is, we've abandoned ourselves. Listen, it's okay for us to be gentle with ourselves and accept ourselves. We were created with feelings and emotions. God never intended us to be superwoman or superman. We need to extend compassion to ourselves. Maybe then we can foster true compassion for others. So listen, let's learn to listen to our precious self and what it's telling us about what we need. Sometimes giving ourselves what we need means giving ourselves something fun. For instance, a new hairdo, a new dress, a new pair of shoes, a new toy. Maybe go see a concert or take a trip to the Bahamas. Now, I could use a trip to the Bahamas right now, y'all. Anyway, sometimes giving ourselves what we need takes work. We need to work on building a cordial relationship with our ex, or we need to tend to our responsibilities to our children and our responsibilities to ourselves. You see, giving ourselves what we need does not mean that we neglect who we are. It's the gift of compassion, and we deserve it. We do. Okay. But, in that, I want you to know that give yourself the gift of compassion, okay? It means doing what's necessary to live responsibly, not excessive responsibility. There needs to be balance, okay? I remember my ex wanting me to pay for my son's hockey sticks all the time. I took on this responsibility to prove to my son how much I supported and loved him. But that was excessive responsibility because my ex and I should have shared the cost. Money was tight back then. I was trying to make ends meet, and I was also paying my ex husband child support. So, guess what? I showed myself some self care. I asserted myself and told my ex we need to split the cost down the middle. There was no room for negotiation, and he finally agreed. You see, every day our needs are different and vary from moment to moment. Sometimes we are feeling crazy anxiety, that goes along with a fresh divorce. And when that happens, self care has to kick in. Maybe we need to read an inspirational book such as the Bible or some other book that inspires us. Maybe we need to go and see a therapist. If people are stomping on your rights, maybe you need to set some boundaries. If your stomach is churning with emotions, then you probably need to deal with your feelings. Maybe you need to detach, slow down, make an amend, initiate an intervention with someone who can help you calm down. Or perhaps you need to join a divorce recovery support group. I did it. It's up to us. What do we think we need to do? That's the big question. Giving compassion to ourselves and giving ourselves what we need means we must first become our own personal counselor, confidant, spiritual advisor, partner, best friend, and caretaker. We learn to eliminate the shoulds from our decisions and learn to trust ourselves. If we listen to ourselves and our higher power, we will not be misled, giving ourselves what we need. Learning to live self directed lives requires faith. We need enough faith to get on with our lives. And we need to do at least a little something every day to begin moving forward as we learn how to care for and meet our own needs. We forgive ourselves when we make mistakes, and we congratulate ourselves when we do well. We also get comfortable doing some things poorly and some things with mediocrity, for that is part of life too. We learn to laugh at ourselves and our humanity, but we don't laugh when we need to cry. We take ourselves seriously, but not too seriously. And after much practice, we may even discover this astounding truth. Few situations in life are ever improved by not taking care of ourselves and not giving ourselves what we need. In fact, we may learn that most situations are improved when we take care of ourselves and tend to our needs. I'm still learning how to take care of myself. I know many, many people who have either learned or are learning to do the same thing. I believe that anyone who is going through a divorce and anyone who has already separated can do this as well. Now, to help you, here's 2 activities you can do. Activity number 1. As you go through the days ahead, stop and ask yourself what you need to do to take care of yourself. Do it as often as you need to, but do it at least once daily. If you're going through a crisis, you may need to do it every hour to give yourself what you need. Activity number 2. What do you need from the people around you before and after divorce? At the appropriate time, sit down with them and discuss what you need from them. Well, my friends, that's it for now. I will see you next week with additional encouragement. Maybe we can talk about forgiveness or how to deal with conflict. If you have a preferred topic, leave a comment or a suggestion. I would love to hear from you. Bye for now.